Welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. I'm here with Ibrahim Rana to talk to him about his film, Big Yikes. Let's take a look at a clip.
I still don't know why you decided to wear this.
Shut up, it's threatening. Isn't he white?
Yeah. He's also huge. Aisha, what are you doing with this?
Hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't do anything crazy.
I won't do anything stupid, okay? It's fine.
Aisha, I don't think I can do this.
Hey, Ibrahim, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to talk to you about your film, Big Yikes. So tell us, what was the inspiration behind this quirky, interesting, layered movie that you made?
Yeah, okay. So during my second year here, especially when I moved here as well, like, being part of the queer community, I realized that things have changed while I was growing up. There's a lot of influence of drugs involved, people exploring their kinks, and I mean, that's fine, to each their own. But what I also noticed was that the line of consent was getting thinner and thinner. And I'm a person who likes to create what he sees, what he hears, what he experiences. And Big Yikes was one of those projects that happened through that.
Now, where'd you grow up versus where you experienced what you're saying that you wanted to explore?
So I grew up in Pakistan. I moved here 3 years ago. Yeah, and of course, LA being a big, hub of queer people living here and being creatives and everything. Yeah, this is where I experienced more of my perspective, what goes into the film.
Right. So how much of this was you made up, or you heard this happen to someone? I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but you could share how much
say
you'd like
it's
to.
like pretty true to what we show in the film. Yeah. But I didn't want to show it as a tragedy, because usually we do see queer films and tragedy being attached to it. And what I wanted to show it as was something that is still lighthearted, but comes with a bang.
Right, with the
And
layers going on.
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. So I wanted to treat it as a comedy and still having that intense subject matter,
Right.
but something that people can still watch and understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Very interesting. And talk about the scripting process and perspective for your lead character. What, given, basing it on experiences and observations, why did you choose this protagonist and to follow this journey in the way, like you said, in a lighter way?
Yeah, so one thing is that, of course, me being South Asian, we don't see that many South Asian stories here. And especially when it comes to South Asian queer people, their experience, especially when they're living with their families, is something we still haven't seen much.
Right.
And of course, being queer is one experience, but then living in a family that is not going to fully accept you for your beliefs and everything is going to be another layer into it. So you kind of start living your life in secrecy, and even if something would happen to you, you would probably not talk to someone.
Right.
And in this film, I kind of wanted to show like a relation between these two cousins
Right.
who, without any judgment, are there for each other. And if one goes through something, the other jumps in to help him instantly without any judgment at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that about it, that she was the cousin friend was just right there with him, and so very supportive. I thought, that she was his sister, but now I remember now that it was his cousin.
Yeah.
And she was there beat for beat. She was right there to help him, protect him, defend him, and in a very sympathetic and empathetic way.
Absolutely.
And just, yeah, it was really wonderful dynamic between characters and siblings, very real. So talk about your production process. What was it like in terms of days? What was your team like making the film?
Yeah, so this film kind of came out of nowhere, if I talk about it, because so we were supposed to make a film every year during our school. And during my second year, I was writing another film, but then there was this funding opened by Netflix for queer films, and I was writing this as well on the side. So I was like, you know what, let me just try and submit it.
Right.
And luckily it got picked and I got that grant to make this film.
Fantastic.
And then I kind of picked on people from my class and like, school. And it was an amazing crew of people, like from different backgrounds. Even though at that time there was like, of course, the political tension going on in the world. But if I talk about like my crew was super diverse, like from every corner. And that was something I really wanted within the team, that people from different backgrounds coming and sharing this experience together.
Yeah.
And it was like we shot it in January, I think.
Okay.
And then like I finished this by June, just like pretty tight in that way.
Right.
But
right.
I was also lucky to have a mentor, Patricia Rosema, who's this Canadian filmmaker. She made this film during the 90s called I Hear the Mermaids Sing.
Oh, yeah. I remember
Yeah,
that.
so she was a big part of this process and,
Right.
being an inspiration on how to bring your voice out and
No, that's
tell this
great.
story.
That's fantastic that you had that support creatively like that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So what did this process teach you, as a filmmaker, or influence you more so as a person and as a filmmaker?
So I think that's a really good question, actually. I think one thing I'm still learning in a way is the balance between how much I put myself out there and how much I kind of hold back in terms of my own identity and my own perspective. Because it was also interesting when I showed this film at a festival through which I got the funding from as well. It was a clash of point of views over there, especially coming from the queer community, that why are you showing the usage of drugs in such a negative light? So that was kind of interesting for me. I was like, but that was not what the film was about. You clearly
Right.
forgot the
Yeah.
film was about consent.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then also as people assume kind of like, oh, was this about you? I was like, okay, people again, jump onto,
Right.
assumptions pretty easily like that. So then I was like, okay, me as a filmmaker, because you're presenting yourself to this world as well. And people always say, oh, if you make something, that's probably about you. Or like even for writers, they write something, they're like, oh, it's probably about you.
Right.
So I'm like, how much do I want to convey that? Like, for example, I'm writing a feature right now about Osama bin Laden. And that's because he was caught from the same city I'm from. And I was there that night. So I'm writing a dark comedy about that.
Wow.
But now it's like, how do I treat that film?
Right. Right,
Yeah.
right. That's very interesting. I mean, so given this experience you just had with this film, how would you say, moving forward, will you make choices based on how having this experience, like you said, of the judgment or people thinking it's about you, how will that influence your choices going forward? Even with the Bin Laden script, is like you said, doing it as a comedy.
I mean, personally, it doesn't really affect me that much because I've always been super bold with my voice. I've always been not afraid to tell and share what I want to tell the world. But I think one thing that comes along with it is just your own sense of, maturity. You grow. Like, for example, when I used to write stories before, there would always be like an element of tragedy attached to it. And recently I was telling someone, I was like, I started laughing at my ideas now. Like I've started finding comedy in everything.
Yeah.
Like the first time I came to this country, I was stopped at the immigration, and they asked me, what are you here for? And I was auditioning for Yale at that time. I was for drama school.
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like, okay, I'm an actor. I'm auditioning. And they're like, come on. And they just took me in and then interviewed me for 2 hours. And now when I look back at it, I just laugh. And I was like, wow, that was so fun when they did that to me. And they were
Right.
like asking me everything. And I kind of want to use that because, but not in a tragic way, but in a
Right.
comedic way that,
Right, right.
do I feel bad about it? No. But I definitely laugh about it that, something of that sort can happen to anyone. But how you approach it now is, what
Right.
matters to me as well as a filmmaker.
Right, and what you're taking, agency with it in terms of response. you know,
Yeah.
because as you said, this can happen to anybody, but it's what you do with it, how you, take agency to move forward.
So even going back to that same experience of, me being questioned, there were like a lot of people of color in that room. And I was like, okay, I'm one of those 50 people who will be asked, why are you here? And of course, their first question was, when you went, when did you go to Afghanistan last time? I was like, why would I do that? Like, why would I? But they're like, why wouldn't you? Because it's just 3 hours away from you. But I'll always be seen as like a threat because I come from that part of the world. But do I want to make films that show me as tragedy? No. I want to show something that people can relate to, yet they laugh at because they're like, oh yeah, this really exists in this time we live in.
Right. And do you, in addition to, not wanting to show the tragic and to show the overcoming and, like I said, not letting anybody steal your identity, claiming yourself as you, do you ever feel the need or desire to want to just write a movie about Abraham Lincoln? You know what I mean? It's like something that's completely, you're an artist, and other artists of other cultures are allowed, quote unquote, to tell stories of all kinds of things. So would you ever feel, the desire to, okay, I'm going to step out of me as an artist and tell another story, just in general? I mean, I'm just using Abraham Lincoln as
absolutely. There's this one film, it's a short that I made like probably 10 years ago. And that is one thing I still want to make. And it was about these two women living up in the north. And one of them gets a urinary tract infection. And they're sisters. And they have to go to this hospital, which is like, 3 days of journey on foot. And they don't have any source to like go there. And one has to carry her on her back and then like make that journey. That is something I still want to turn into a feature.
Wow.
Have I seen that again? Yes. Have I lived through that? No, of course not.
Right.
I do like to tell stories about people going through struggles and then overcoming that, and not being like shut down by that, shining through it.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that is one of those elements that will always be in my films.
Sure.
But will I make a film about some big figure? Maybe. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Like, it's just, what comes to me. Like, I just start writing about it.
Right.
I am currently developing this series about this communal living for international students,
Nice.
where I also lived. Am I a part of that? No. But there's so many people that I met who are definitely part of it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And the human condition is the human condition. I mean, people experience it in different parts of the world and different cultures. And so I asked that question because it seems us people of color, we're, confined, or they want to confine us to being the tragedy or telling the thing about just you, and yeah, the universal rule has been to write about what you know, but you can know about something by researching it, and you can know about many things and many people as long as you know the human condition. It's attaching that culture and doing the deep dives and the finding the revelation and the commonness, as well. So that's why I posed that question.
Yeah. No, it's a great question. Again, like, tragedy is part of our DNA.
Right.
I mean, I'm from South Asia. We went through like partition, like colonization. So, I mean, it's still going through a lot of
Right.
stuff.
Oh,
like, I share a border with
absolutely.
Iran, Afghanistan,
Right.
China, India.
Right.
We're surrounded by that. Like,
Right.
everyone is against each other. Of course, we hear that, we see that, but do we also want to constantly show that?
Exactly.
Not necessarily. And even if we do show it, I think there should be an element of making it more, what you can say, absorbable.
Right. And it's bringing your perspective and how you see it, but it's, not necessarily just about you, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You definitely gonna bring your culture and perspective to it, as we all do as artists.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things in my films is that I make a lot of films with female leads. So I grew up around female figures. I have two sisters, a mom. And yeah, I definitely, again, growing up in a country where women are still not treated exactly the same way. Like, I mean, it's a privilege to be a man in this world, to be honest. But giving a voice to them, that matters to me.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
I once did this body movement performance in Pakistan in which I wore a red bra. And it was called Metamorphosis, and I was just taking off my clothes one by one, and it was like basically about accepting your femininity and masculinity at the same time. Looking back at it, I'm like, would there be ever a woman being able to do that in my country? Probably not. So I kind of feel like a responsibility at the same time, not just that, oh, I want to tell stories, but no, I need to tell stories.
Right. Absolutely. We all need to tell stories and,
Right.
and voices and all our voices.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming to talk to us today.
Thank
Any advice you'd like to leave filmmakers with? And certainly tell us where we can follow you and find out what you're up to.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, you can follow me on Instagram, Ibrahim A. Rana. And well, what would I like to tell people? Like, I mean, just keep doing what you want to do. Keep creating. Like, I tell people, like, I did not find art. Art found me, and it became a source of survival for me because I didn't grow up around theaters and, like, cinemas or anything of that sort. And it's still, I wound up doing all of this.
Right on.
So if it comes towards you, just take it, embrace it, and, and enjoy it, and don't take it too seriously.
Right.
Yeah, it's fine. Even if, things don't work, it's okay. Just don't kill yourself over it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much again for coming. I am just enjoying talking to you. I could be here all day talking to
Me
you.
too.
But
Lovely talking to you.
all right. Well, thank you so much.
Likewise. Appreciate it.